Welcome back to the Ride and Laugh podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last group ride, however long ago that may have been. You're back at the parking lot. The stoke is high. You're talking about bikes, tech, nutrition, berms, jumps, drops. That's what we do here every week on the Ride and Laugh Mountain Bike podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Boy, I really stumbled through that one today, Sage. How are you?
That's not your fault. I hit record, hit the music, and then I was like, wait, did I hit record? I had to run back in. And that's why you saw me running into the shot for the intro. Fantastic start to the show. Yes.
It did distract me a little bit. But you know what? I think I lost rhythm a little bit when I changed the however long ago that's been. And then my brain starts thinking like people might be listening to this at other times. They're not going to know what you're talking about.
That's right.
This podcast isn't just for people in the northern snow covered part of the world.
Yes.
It's for everybody.
Yes.
And all happened in like a nanosecond.
Yes.
And it knocked me off my game. That's me like starting to go down a sketchy looking feature.
That's right. Yes.
That's what I say. I had so many thoughts in that like 0.002 seconds.
Yeah.
As I'm like committed to this thing. It's like, oh, I don't know if you should be doing this. Wait, keep them rolling. Look at that rock there. Like I can't believe how many thoughts fit into that like tiny little nanosecond.
How do we do it? Unbelievable. But you made it. Just like on the feature.
I made it.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Hey, I'm actually really good at this.
That's right.
And so the intro sounds a little bit different, but I'm human.
That's right.
I still cleared the feature.
You cleared it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, what a great start.
I may maybe I squeezed a little break in the middle, maybe I compressed the suspension a little bit, you know what I mean? But man, oh man. So
yes,
more snow in the Northeast.
Oh my
more snow in the forecast.
I
mean, what is going on? You guys got more snow in Pennsylvania, I heard, than Colorado has this year.
Did we really? That is craziness. Yes, I don't know what we had done.
That's what a buddy of mine told me that. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's believable. I don't know what we did to Mother Nature, but she has taken her wrath out on us, and that's okay. That's okay. We're going with the flow. I got a lot of dude. My biceps, holy moly! I'm looking jacked
from shoveling.
Oh yeah, the shoveling muscles. I mean,
yeah. I thought maybe you were just lifting weights every day because you can't ride your bike. I thought maybe you were doing some more weightlifting.
Also doing that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, everything happens for us. You don't have to worry about taking 2 weeks off this year. I mean, you talking about taking 2 months off.
No, I'm good for the next 3 years. Yeah. I banked it.
You don't need to you don't need to take any breaks. For anyone new listening, Sage and I always try to take 2 weeks off.
That's right.
Every year off the bike to just kind of rest, recover mentally and physically. Just give yourself that break. And it's really worked well for us. And a lot of times, both of us love riding so much that it's hard to say, hey, I don't know. I don't want to take 2 weeks off. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then life just happens, right?
It always works out. It's crazy like that. Yeah. Since we started making that commitment to doing the 2 weeks off, and we do, it has always just presented itself, whether it's a snowstorm or an injury, God forbid, an injury or whatever. You take what life gives you. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. Go with the flow. It's happening for you. So you're getting this big long reset, and like it's that bow getting pulled back. You're going to have all that energy, shoot that arrow forward. Lots of mountain biking. It's coming up. It's coming up. All our friends that are snow covered right now. Spring is around the corner. This all is going to melt fast. We're all going to be shredding laps soon enough.
Yes.
All right. I heard a really, really interesting little line on Instagram the other day, and I sent it to you. I don't know if you watched it because you've been really busy, but it kind of resonated with me, and I thought it had a really interesting perspective on mountain biking. And it says, never identify something as easy or hard. Instead, identify it as familiar or unfamiliar. And in life, that makes a ton of sense to me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about like not labeling things good and bad.
Yes. Familiar or unfamiliar. I love that, by the way. Love that saying. The only issue is what if you've never done it? What if you're coming up against something that is new?
It's familiar or unfamiliar. In that situation, it's unfamiliar.
That would be unfamiliar.
You took out one of the main options. You went from easy, hard, familiar, unfamiliar, and you just went easy, hard, familiar.
That's it.
What about if it's not familiar? That's unfamiliar. This is not what the segment was supposed to be about, defining what unfamiliar is. Unfamiliar means that you haven't seen it before. Yeah.
Yes, oh boy. We're off to a start today.
Should we try again? Let's try again.
Let's try again. Start over. Rewind.
Yeah. I teed it up for you, and like you took a huge swing out of the strike zone. Like that ball wasn't even close.
It was.
You know what I mean? Like when you're watching baseball at home and your favorite player's up and it's a 3-2 count and they swing at a pitch that's like so far out of the strike zone, you're like, why don't you just give up? You know, like you already decided that you were swinging at that ball no matter what, and you reached for it. You looked terrible.
Yeah, no, it was like you were like, you're like, we're coming up on the feature, and you're like, here's the line, don't miss this. And I was like, no, and I just totally went off the line.
Yeah,
took a header. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yes, let's forget that ever happened. Yes.
All right. So in life, I think like that makes a lot of sense to me. Like instead of labeling it easy, hard, it's like, okay, it seems that way.
Right.
But is it real? Like, is it really hard or is it just unfamiliar? And then it really applies to mountain biking. I mean, I can't tell you, if you just think about all the features that you've ridden that used to look at it and be like, no, or this one's really hard.
Yeah.
Or it just was something that was difficult. And then as you're riding, it just, you get it, and then you get it, and then you get it. And then it just becomes part of the routine. It just becomes part of the ride. It's now familiar, right? I have the Kona slab at Gold Canyon. I rode at Gold Canyon last week.
Yeah.
And the Kona line, when I first did that, it was unfamiliar and it was so scary and hard. Now I've done it so many times and I'm just like, I just roll into it.
Yeah.
It feels good.
That's such a good point.
Familiar.
Yeah. Maybe the better comment that I should have made was, when it's unfamiliar, what's your approach? What do you do? You know, when it's unfamiliar, we don't automatically have to think because it's unfamiliar that it's going to be hard.
Oh, your nemesis.
I know. Yeah. Really, vocabulary is my nemesis. But like, it doesn't mean that it has to be hard. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means you haven't done this particular feature at this moment. Just be present, let it happen, trust in your skills, and you could do it. When you did that Kona sign for the first time, you trusted your skills and you did it. No problem. You didn't get hurt.
Right. It's perspective. So when we come up to something and we look at it, instead of just saying, oh no, I could never, or oh my gosh,
exactly,
or this looks so hard.
Right.
Instead of like, those thoughts might be there, but let's like, okay, let that go. Let's shift our perspective and just say, this is unfamiliar. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm maybe not yet, but I can do this.
That's right.
And I'm just kind of waiting until the right moment when it feels right to do it. So there is no, oh, I could never. There is no, I can't. There is no, this is too hard. Oh, those guys are crazy that are doing this, right? It's just like, oh, it's unfamiliar. I just don't know how to do this yet, but it's happening.
Yeah. Love that, Danny. I'm sorry that I screwed it up, but you know what? I made for a funny bit. So, you know, I'm not sorry. It all happened for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a funny bit? The audience, let us know. RideLife1@gmail, YouTube comments.
They're like, this guy's an idiot.
Was it worth it? They're like, clearly Sage messed that up on purpose to trying to make a funny bit because nobody would. But in your defense, you have been doing your, what do we call that?
My side hustle.
Freelance. In your defense,
yes,
you have been doing your freelance job, freelance for the last couple of days, and they've been very long days. We are normally we record on Wednesday. We're actually recording like first thing on Thursday morning, which is lovely for me. I mean, I got a cup of coffee with my buddy and ready to go.
Oh, mama, yes, cheers, yes, absolutely, yes.
But you are a little fried.
There's a haze. There's a haze. There's a mist happening, and I'm fighting my way through it. But you know what? We're present. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cups of coffee are you in today?
We've gone through quite a bit. Yes. Probably 16 cups. Yeah. It's bad. Yeah.
we've already paused the podcast 3 times for Sage to take a leak. So
yeah,
I'm thinking about like maybe just getting some sort of old Camelback bladder. Yeah.
Camelback bladder.
You got the old bladder and the new bladder. Do not mix those up. That's not very important.
Label it.
Yeah. No, not that bladder. Don't drink out of that one.
Oh boy.
All right. I've been, I do a lot of solo rides out here, and even on the group rides, there's so many cool perspectives that we could get with a drone. Yeah. And I saw Ryan Butler's video. I had no idea that there was a new DJI Neo 2 out. Yeah. And I saw his video. And then because that came out, the HoverAir X1 and the X1 Pro, which has been out for a little bit, that one started coming down in price. Yeah. And I said to you, I was like, I think the podcast needs a drone. And now everywhere I ride, I'm like, oh, like if I could take a drone out and get like a little shot right here, because those are great. Those the GoPro shots, the first person shots are cool. Yeah. But when there's no one in front of you, it's nowhere near as good. But like a drone shot going through a feature or down the trail, like that would be really cool. Yes. And these things have come down, like they've gotten so good. Yeah. I'm leaning towards the HoverAir, and I know I sent you. We went back and forth on a couple of videos. Yeah. Of which one is best for us. Right. And the Neo 2 seems like it's a better all around like camera and drone, but the HoverAir just like folds up so small. So what are your thoughts? And then price kind of coming back in. The HoverAir was more expensive, but they're getting closer together. So what are your thoughts and why? Because I'm ready to
great questions. Yes, great questions. The DJI it's not even close. It's hands down a way better drone in terms of quality, in terms of what you can do with it. You can use your phone and fly with it, and all this stuff. And we know the DJI has been in the game for ages. I mean, they're making bikes now, for God's sakes. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they make great stuff.
Yeah, they really do. And Hover is more new to the game. However, Hover does have one huge advantage, and actually it's 2 huge advantages. One, it folds down very small, making it pocketable. Yes. But you do not need a phone. You can literally just hit one button, throw it up in the air, and it follows you. Is the quality going to be as good as the DJI? No. Is the movement going to be just as good? No, I'm sure the accesses for the gimbal aren't as good. But for you and I, we're just looking to get, 3 seconds, 4 seconds of a shot. We're not looking for an extended long play. I think the usability and the ease case, I think that plays a bigger role for someone like you and I, where we're just trying to get a shot and what's going to be easiest. The more that you introduce complications, like, okay, now I got to throw this thing up and I got to set it up and do all this, you're not going to want to use it. And so I was suggesting—
unless you use it.
Right. So I was suggesting the HoverAir, but I didn't know about the price difference. So maybe we're back to the DJI. I don't know. Comments, suggestions?
Well, yeah. I'm curious. I mean, I might pull the trigger this week. Like, I really want one, but if I don't have one, I would love to hear everyone's comments when this comes out next week. Does the DJI, and we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but you said does the DJI need the phone, whereas the HoverAir will just follow you? You can just turn it on. Can't you just turn the DJI on and have it follow you?
I believe that the DJI also has a couple of features where you can just set it up, but the HoverAir that's literally built for that. That is what it was built for, to make it that much easier. I think it was made for social media. I just want to capture this shot, and DJI, because there's so much more capability, there's just more things to think about, And listen, I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have either one of these. So if I'm wrong, let me know. I'd be curious to see what people say. Have people experienced both the HoverAir, or do you only have one, and why do you like it? I don't know. Be interesting. Yeah.
I'm also curious, like, how interested are mountain bikers in these drones? For years we would look at them and we would just kind of drool, like, oh, that would be so awesome. And they were expensive and cumbersome, and you have to have someone fly it, or, like, and it just, but now, like, the prices come down where, I see these things, they're, you can get them for like $300-$400, like, pretty set up. Yeah. I'm curious how many, like, mountain bikers, like, there was a time when you didn't see that many GoPros, and now when you're out for a ride, you see a lot of people recording their rides. And are they throwing it up on social media, or are they just having it just to have, or just sharing with friends? Like, I'm just curious how many just regular riders would want something like this. I don't think I've ever seen a drone flying around here. Have you seen these mountain bike drones?
I have seen a few drones, and we used a couple at the Phoenixville Bike Park. But, the issue with the drones is when they get to a certain size, you can't just fly them. You need certain FDA clearances. That's the nice thing about the HoverAir and the DJI. They're so small that you don't have to worry about any of these legalities. I just think that I think it's a no-brainer. We should get a drone. It's an absolute no-brainer.
It'll be cool. Yeah. The HoverAir folding up and fitting in a pocket, even though the DJI Neo 2 is really small, and I often ride with a pack, and I'm sure it would fit in there. But being able to fold it up and put it in a pocket or a hip pack, something like that, like it's really appealing.
Attractive.
It really is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I just don't want to fall on it.
Oh,
I want it in my pocket. And then,
why are you putting that out No, come on. Jeez.
Well, that's the first thing I thought. Like, people are like, they're putting it in their pocket. And I'm like, what are these people never falling? Who are these riders? All right. We are reviewing episode 38, Fat Adapted Mountain Bike and Positive Media, the truth about carbs, energy, and performance.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, what a great podcast that was. If you haven't listened, definitely go back and check that one out. Some really, really cool, insightful stuff.
Yeah.
We did talk about the e-mountain bikes on that episode, and a ton of feedback. And let me tell you, everybody's got an opinion: full power, super light, battery size, range anxiety, how playful you want it, how 60 pounds doesn't matter. Other people are like 40 pounds is too heavy. Like, it's all across the board. And I would say it's all just very specific to the rider, the trail, the style, and that it sounds like whatever you have, like, for the most part, like, you're going to enjoy it, make it work.
Yeah. I mean, it really does come down to, you can't miss. I mean, we've talked about this so often about technology and bikes just getting so good. I mean, not just mountain bikes, but regular bikes. Like, no matter what you get, you're going to be happy. Yeah, I think we might be overthinking this. I don't know, buddy.
Well, that would be guilty as charged. I mean, I am a classic overthinker.
Yes,
because I've been shopping for this bike for, 4 years, like, I've been really getting into the weeds. And I have an announcement. I think it was that last podcast where, I was teasing myself about everyone's just saying, Dan, just buy the bike. Like, let us know when you bought the bike. Enough with the deliberation.
Yes.
I bought a bike.
What?
Well, I put a deposit down. on a
counts.
bike.
Yes.
So it'll be here in 6 or 7 weeks. I am super stoked. Working with, I had demoed the Orbea Wild.
Yeah, that's right.
I broke it, but I still liked it. And I really wanted to work with Emigos if I could.
Yeah.
They're like kind of a e-bike first bike shop. They're also a great shop. They're near South Mountain. They've been awesome to us.
Yeah.
And they carry Orbea, and they, I just knew that they would work with me and that they would be like a solid partner. They got great mechanics. Everyone that works there is so cool. And then I was working with Tristan at Ride Dialed, and he really kind of walked me through his recommendations on building this bike. And so, they didn't have the exact bike that I wanted in stock. And so Orbea lets you build it. And, so put it together, and super, super stoked, man. Like, I just got like everything that I think I wanted. We'll see, but I'm sure I'm going to love it. But I'm super, super excited about it.
All right. So just to be clear, this wasn't a eAmigos, you break it, you buy it policy where they were like, well, now you own it.
Yeah. If I kept demoing bikes, I think they would have just been like, why don't you just pay for this one?
You're going to,
And
that's right. Yeah. You know what, Dan?
Maybe you should just buy your own bike instead of like breaking our bikes.
Yeah, that's right.
You ever think about that?
New policy. Yeah.
Instead of paying money to fix our bikes, why don't you buy your own bike and use your money to fix that bike?
Oh no. Yeah. Kudos to eAmigos. That's awesome. What a great shop.
It's Emigos.
It's such like a good shop that I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. It's an E.
I'm just
Emigos. I know. Listen, I always want to say eAmigos too.
I'm in it, bud.
Yes.
I'm not. Don't listen to me today. I'm out.
I'm impressed that you're like talking this coherently while also peeing into a Camelback at the same time. Like that takes a lot of focus. You know what I mean? You talk about like being able to walk and chew gum. I mean, this guy can podcast and take a leak at the same time. So let's give him a little bit of grace.
Yeah,
a little bit of grace.
Thanks to you, I'm never going to be able to rent a bike from Emigos now. They're going to be like, this guy, I don't want him peeing in a Camelback while he's, demoing our bikes. Jeez Louise.
Can't stop. I got to send a PR.
I just,
yes. You got one Camelback coming in, the other Camelback going out. Let's just don't mix up those bladders.
Fenders for a whole different reason. Yes. Okay.
That'll be our mountain bike tip of the week. How to not mix up those bladders. When you get home, it's very important. One of the bladders gets, I don't know, an X. I mean, it's just very important.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gross and weird.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, terrible.
Back to the e-bike.
Yes. What I was trying to say was Emigos, great shop. I'm glad that you were able to support them. They've supported you for so long. Those guys and gals over there are top notch. So congratulations on the new e-bike, my friend. Oh, what am I going to do? Yes. I'm that guy.
I mean, so I texted like my mountain bike buddies. I was like, hey, put a deposit down, and a lot of the comments from the guys who don't have e-bikes was like, oh, well, there goes Dan. See, nice riding with you.
Yeah. Nice to know you.
And we'll see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting, but we'll see what happens. But my goal is to train on the trainer.
Yeah.
Ride the e-bike for downhill training and fun, and then ride analog on the weekends, unless the e-bike guys are like, hey, let's take the e-bike out this weekend. But, my plan is like to get stronger, to get faster, to have more fun on both bikes.
That's right. Yes.
What's the best that can happen?
Dude, you're going to love this thing. You're going to be amazing on it. Just the fact that you'll be able to session downhills over and over, not get tired. That alone right there is money well spent, my friend.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited for any of our e-bikers or anyone that's in the e-bike market that is wondering what I ended up deciding on after all this deliberation. I would say the major things that I changed was when I talked to Tristan, he said mullet. He said with it, and I was like, I don't really like the smaller wheel on my analog bike. I didn't really like the smaller wheel. I felt like it got hung up.
Yeah.
And he said, absolutely. He's like, but the e-bike kind of nullifies that hanging up feeling because you have all the power, especially a full power e-bike. So it nullifies that.
Yeah.
And then it's going to actually make he said, this is going to be the longest bike I've ever owned because I'm getting the extra large. So the mullet's going to make it a little bit smaller, a little bit more maneuverable. Also gets up to speed a little bit better because that rear wheel is a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice, man. And then everyone will see the color when I got it, but my wife helped me pick out the colors, and it's a pretty sick color scheme too. It's not just a regular old bike. It's going to look pretty cool.
Well, you let me know.
Stoked.
Yeah. You let me know when you get your congratulatory fruit basket from Dennis. Denny Giannetti, who has been the #1 champion. Yes. Oh, he has got to be excited.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Yes.
That's right. That's the e-bike committee, the Ride Life e-bike committee. They can scratch my name off the chalkboard.
Yeah. He's
check mark.
He's
another one.
So excited he might have been peed himself. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got to buy a new Camelback. He's like, ruined his Camelback. He's like, why did I pee in this thing? I could have just gone to the bathroom. Got a little too enthusiastic.
Too excited.
Sorry about that, Dennis.
Sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, got it. Free ride laugh bladder coming at you. Yes. Slightly used. Actually, if it's got an X mark on it, you're not going to want to drink out of
it. Oh boy, where have we gone?
All right, so I think you're going to be in Arizona when that bike's delivered. So maybe we can get Emigos to demo you a bike so that we can go out for e-bike ride.
Hey, Colin. Right? Yes. Colin, come on, bud.
Yes. As hard as Dan is on his bike, Sage is the opposite. You are a very smooth, gentle rider.
What? Don't tell lies. No. I mean, come on. Yes.
You may or may not have broken the last e-bike demo that we had out here, actually. You may or may not have run into a signpost of all things.
Oh, boy. Come on, man.
Oh, the last thing is that Tristan at Radal is a big fan of the coil. And so I am going to upgrade the the shock to a coil. And I'm going to do that through Tristan. So
okay, right on.
But more on that later. Yeah,
okay,
more on that later. And we've been wondering about the coil versus the air shock. Now that I ride a coil bike, and I'm learning more and more as I'm working with him. I'm learning more and more. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Back to
wait a second? Yeah, please. What was interesting about your coil comment just now was I remember a few pods ago you were actually like not completely sold on the coil. You said I might even go back to the air shock. So it's interesting that after you had Tristan look at this and dial up your bike, now how will you feel about the coil? That's going to be the interesting take.
Yes, that's so true. When it's actually like fit for me, when it's actually tuned for me, when I have the right spring rate and the right. 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 Not and it's working the way it's supposed to.
Thinking clearly. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Coffee's kicking in.
Yeah. It's fine. All right. Yeah. 18 cups in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you out of coffee now? Are you starting to drink the recycled coffee out of the bladder? There's still caffeine in there. Oh boy. That's your half calf. Yeah. All right. Getting back to our review of the Fat Adapted Mountain Bike Positive Media.
Yes.
Yes. We were talking about that episode.
That's what we heard. Yes.
Great listener and commenter Mark wrote in several awesome points, but he was talking about cutting back on his social media in general. He said, I find myself feeling more negative in general and tied to my device, and I want to feel connected and present with myself and those around me. And it's hard to do that if you're constantly looking down and having a stream of someone else's conversation in your ears. That said, I do enjoy some podcasts, this being one of them. And I never thought about listening at increased speed, because that was a big conversation, was the 1 times versus 2 times speed.
Yeah.
But your point was also what content are you bringing into your consciousness?
Yeah.
What are you consuming?
Exactly. I keep coming back to, first of all, thank you, Mark. That is fantastic. And thank you for keeping Ride and Laugh on your playlist. So that is fantastic news. Yeah, I keep thinking more about that. Yeah, we made the cut. I keep going back to like all the conversations that you and I have, that I have with my dad, my family, all the conversation I have with all my friends. I never once think about speeding up those conversations. I really enjoy being present in that moment. And when I'm watching media or I'm listening to a podcast, I want that same experience. I want that, like, I'm here, I'm involved, I'm actively listening. And if you get to a point where it's like, oh, I wish I could just speed this up, or it's not interesting enough, then that's when you ask the question, well, then is this really that important? If you feel the need to speed it up, then maybe it didn't need to be in your life. What do you do in real life? Do you exit that conversation like, all right, sorry, Tom.
I was about to say, haven't you ever found yourself talking to someone and they're going on and you're just like, I got to get out of this conversation. Right. I mean, if there was a 2 times speed right there, there's totally times I would hit that 2x speed.
Yeah. Right.
To your point is that's not someone that you're going to seek out to spend time with anymore.
Exactly.
So you're just not going to listen anymore. You're just not going to listen to that podcast anymore. And I Mark also said just that, like, putting someone else's stream of consciousness into your mind by always grabbing the phone, always looking at social media versus what we want.
Yeah.
Right. And we talked about that on the beginning of the pod, switching your perspective, right? From easy, hard to familiar, unfamiliar. And that takes focus. So if you're constantly falling into someone else's perspective, especially just kind of like the world at large, if it's not like, if you kind of like dial in your social media to be positive and to be mountain bike stuff, right, and it brings you joy, then that's going to be closer to what you want to be thinking about anyway. But a lot of like what we're seeing out there just isn't. And so if it's making you negative, like, is this serving me?
Yo, what's a great, this is a great one, is like, I stopped watching fail videos. They don't even show up in my algorithm anymore.
Me too.
Right?
Me too. I scroll right past them. I do not want to see the fail videos. Yeah. That's really interesting. You brought that up.
At first, they were like kind of funny, and I was like, oh, this is kind of funny. And then I started consuming more and more of it. And I was like, this is, first of all, it's not funny all the time. I mean, some of them are pretty funny, but sometimes they're just, and it's like, I don't want this. I don't want those visuals going in my head. Yes. Out.
Yeah. I want to see people succeeding. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Good stuff.
The the other thing I was thinking of, like with that easy, hard, familiar, unfamiliar, is when we look at a feature and we say familiar, unfamiliar, right? But it's interesting because in mountain biking, the trails are actually labeled easy, hard. You know what I mean? Like there's actual labels on it. You know, like yeah. And so it's harder to say, like, can we just make a familiar and unfamiliar? Can we change the whole trail labeling system? You know what I mean? But you got to do that in your mind, familiar, unfamiliar. And if you see an easy trail and you know that you're an intermediate rider, and just be like, okay, I got this. Yeah. And we also take that, like, what people will say, when I got here and there was that goalpost drop, they closed it, but there was that goalpost drop at Hawes.
Yeah.
And everyone told me it was hard. And so I was like, okay, it's hard. I'm not going to do that. And then you got here and you're like, no, Danny, we could do that.
Yeah.
And then change the perspective from hard to unfamiliar. And then, okay, what do I need to do to ride this? And then we rode it. And
there's another aspect of that. I mean, that was a pretty simplified, I was pretty simplified how you described it. But I think in general, I have a very optimistic, first of all, I never listen to people. I take what people say at face value. I always draw my own conclusions. That's one. And two, I have a pretty optimistic, and it's not always a good thing, but a pretty optimistic look on features. Maybe not in life, but in features. And so when you were telling me about Goldpost and all this stuff, and you're telling me all the stories, like I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I got to it, and it's like, okay, I've done stuff like this before, and I immediately knew, like, this, we're doing this. And I felt like that about a lot of the features that I got to see for the first time after hearing you speak of them. The on off is another one. Like, okay, I hear what you're saying and I hear what other people are saying about it, but I'm not going to make any judgment until I see it for myself, and then I'll make my own.
Size.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
And that's perspective. It's perspective. So you're taking that familiar, unfamiliar perspective already. You're saying, I'm going to look at it and see how I feel. I'm not labeling it easy, hard. Look, if you want to label everything easy and feel like you got it, as long as it doesn't get you hurt, then great. Right. I guess there's a danger in that. If you're like, everything's easy,
forget
the world
labeling.
will teach you.
The minute that you label something, you're already putting an expectation on it. So forget the labels. That's what I love about the unfamiliar. Like, if everything's unfamiliar, if you're approaching it that way, then there is no expectation, right? The minute you say that I've done this before, blah, 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 then it's like, okay, there's an expectation that you're setting. That's what I love about unfamiliar, is it forces you to be in the present moment, which is something that you're always preaching, Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's excellent. If you're present, and you're just going to see what happens. Just like, what's the best that can happen? Let's just see what happens. And then there's no judgment.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Just like, does it feel good or does it not feel good?
Exactly.
And something can be familiar for 4 or 5 rides, and then you don't do it for 6 months, and then it's unfamiliar again. And that's okay.
Yes.
No judgment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great listener and rider, Nikki Shreds, who now goes by Stoic MTB.
Yes. Woo.
Yes. And just awesome listener, and always has so many good comments. So he was talking, he said, how does someone listen at 2 times speed? I can barely comprehend at a 1/2 time speed. And then he makes some really interesting points about the different types of learning. And I remember reading about this in like health class or something like that, but auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and that there's different ways that we learn. Yeah. And so, like, I'm probably an auditory learner. You know what I mean? Like, I can absorb this stuff at 2 times speed. And Nick said, I'm kinesthetic. Like, he's got to slow it down. Like, he does not learn that way. And if you're visual, then you're not learning that way as well. Your thoughts?
Well, a kinesthetic, I think he also explained it as someone that likes to get in there and actually do it. So you have the audio, and then you have the visual, and then the actual, like, I need to, like, get my hands and do it.
Touch it and do it. Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm a combination of, and I might have a combination of audio too, but like, I'm definitely more visual, and I do need to, like, get in there hands on. I love that. It just comes down to, like, attaching things. The more that you can attach things and put things together, make connections in your brain, the better it is. At least that's my theory.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. What I realized, like, listening back to that during that podcast and listening back to that podcast and then reading the comments, is that when I'm listening at 2 times speed, And you're saying, is it really worth listening if you're just going to be blowing through it like that? And I just noticed like how often I just put something on. I'm brushing my teeth, I put something on. I'm getting changed, I put something on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whether sometimes it's music, and I think that's much better. But oftentimes I notice it would be a podcast and something that I'm just like, maybe I'm not even all that interested in. So like it's a 2x speed. I don't need to pay super attention. I'm getting dressed, I'm making breakfast, and I have this on. And I realized that maybe I'm just not okay with silence. Like as a classic overthinker, my brain wants to be going and distracted and thinking all the time. And is that serving me? I've made the analogy before of working on being present on the easy trails, right? And the intro, I talked about overthinking on these hard features, right? So if I'm practicing being present on the easy trails, if I'm practicing being present at the easy times of life, when I'm making breakfast, when I'm getting changed, when I'm brushing my teeth, then I can be present when life gets a little bit harder. Easy trails, hard trails, present. When life is easy, just be okay with silence on and off the bike. And I think I struggle with that. And there's so much content nowadays. Like it's so easy to just keep distracting yourself.
I have, it's so funny because we started talking about, we started this pod, we talked about how hazy I am. The reason why I'm hazy is because I do have a second mood lighting job that I try and do whenever I get the opportunity to kind of make some cash. And part of that job is I'm on a production team and I run camera and, there's a lot of equipment, all this stuff. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's a lot of downtime. When you're doing production, it's not go, go, go all the time. You set up all the stuff and then downtime while, clients are doing rehearsals and blah, blah, blah. And all the other folks, and I'm not going to mention names here, obviously, but everybody else is on their phones. There's downtime. All of a sudden, everyone whips out their phone and immediately starts scrolling. And I never.
Yes.
First of all, I have a, this might be a Gen X thing, but like, I feel terrible. If I'm on the clock, like, I just feel like I can't whip out my phone. But the second part of that is that I want to make sure that I'm in that moment. And when something is happening, that I'm there. Right. So everybody else is on their phone and I see someone struggling, right? Someone's struggling to pick up a piece of equipment, or someone needs someone to get up on stage to work the mic. I'm there. I'm visually taking it all in. I'm surveying the land here, and I'm always the first to jump on it. Hey, I see you struggle. Can I help you out with that? Right. That's not happening if I'm on the phone. How does that relate to life? How does that relate to how much are you missing because you're trying to fill up space?
Oh,
this is what I'm talking about. Being present, being able to just see everything, that matters to me, and the fact I noticed that with my kids, by the way, they can't be bored. And they say that about Generation X too. Like we were the last generation to actually be able to be bored. We didn't have smartphones and all this stuff.
We had no choice. Yeah.
You had no choice.
Sit in the back of the car during a road trip and there was nothing to do but play punch buggy or 20 questions or something, but look out the window. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I notice when I go for a walk, sometimes, and I just don't have the podcast on or don't even the meditation. But, like suddenly like you're noticing the birds and the trees and, the sun or the crispness of the air. Like there's so much that we just turn off. So you had these long stretches in between happenings at this job.
Yeah.
Are you just sitting there being present, like just grounded? You're like a little Japanese Buddha.
Yeah, no, it sucks sometimes. It absolutely does. And I'll try and actually physically go up to people and make a conversation. If I see them on the phone, like, hey, how are the wife and kids or whatever? Like, I don't want to just suck up meaningless space. I want to be interacting with the environment around me, and it is hard to be bored. It is hard to just sit with your thoughts. But the more you do it, the more that you get out of it. It is kind of like, we just joked about Buddha and stuff like that, but it is kind of Buddhistic in a way. Did I just make a word? Buddhistic? Buddhistic. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's a badass word.
That's a great. Yes. So
they call him Mr. Buddhistic.
You know what? If I'm going to strive to try
Mr. Boombastic and
Boombastic.
I think Mr. Boombastic would be the furthest away from Mr. Buddhistic.
Actually,
for our speaking of 90s references. Yeah.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
We did that at the same time.
Yeah. But no, that is something I strive for. I really do try try and get myself to the next level of mindset. And I think that's being at peace with yourself sometimes. Yeah, dude.
Yes. That's called Buddha nature, I think.
Buddha nature.
Buddha by nature? That's naughty by nature.
Buddha by nature.
Booty. Booty by nature. Naughty by nature is listening and they're like, why didn't we think of that? Booty by nature. That would have been perfect. That would have been a hit. It's long.
Yeah.
Buddha nature. Yes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The temptation to pick up the phone and distract ourselves and pass the time, to me, sometimes feels overwhelming. Like it's a real battle to say, no, I'm just going to be here, let alone, especially when you're just waiting. That's impressive, but I think it's worthwhile. I think there's something there for us.
You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested on this road trip. We're going to have lots of hours in the car.
Oh no. You expect me to talk to you? I was just going to be on the phone. Oh, man. It's funny because I would never think about getting on the phone. I mean, like it's so off-putting when you're with someone and they're on the phone.
Exactly.
You know, like I try not to do that with my kids and my wife and, you know, just like be conscious of it. But, you know, it happens. And sometimes I see them, they pick up the phone. Yeah, I know.
I looked up at a restaurant. Everybody, they're at the table with somebody. This isn't, I'm at the bar by myself. They're actually at the table with people. Everybody's on their phones. Like, what is that saying about our society, about how we communicate with each other? It's not, I don't think this is a good thing, Danny. You know, you take a good thing like a phone.
Oh, no, I don't think so either. Yeah.
That has tremendous amount of resource that we can use it for good. And it's infiltrating. Right. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't think this is healthy.
I like how you said that the phone is so useful and has so much potential for good, because people are so quick to say like it's the phone's fault. It's social media's fault. You know, we all make a decision. We all make a decision. Am I going to be grounded right now? Am I going to be present right now? Or am I going to be distracted? And if we practice being present now, then we are going to be more present when we're riding. It just makes sense. And if we're more present when we're riding, we're going to have more fun.
Right.
We're going to have the better perspective. We're going to have more fun. And then doesn't that also go back to life? If we're more present when we're living, aren't we going to have more fun? Aren't we going to enjoy it more? Aren't we going to choose our perspective instead of having it chosen for us by what we're watching?
Yeah, man. Whoa, we went all over the place here. Oh boy. Yeah. I was saying, Buddhistic. Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show you that you can be present or you can be listening to this podcast. You have two options. Okay. Nothing.
Or
ride and laugh.
Yeah.
We're going to make you feel good, but I can't guarantee anything else is going to make you feel this good. As good as you feel right now, listener. Once you stop listening, I mean, I would just start downloading, manically downloading past episodes. Listen to us at one time speed. We're like, great. You've made being present and grounded. It's self-serving. You've totally ruined it.
Yeah. My goodness. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
you're welcome.
I have a gift. Yes, you're welcome. That's right. Now, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
What about on the airplane? Because I've been shocked. So I read. I love reading books, and I also listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
But I don't usually watch movies on the airplane. I just read. And when you've flown out here, I know you're not a reader. You don't really like to read big long books and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I do watch a movie or shows on the plane, but there's a lot of time I spend people watching. I people watch. I love that. I love studying people's mannerisms. I love it. I want to be aware, you know, if things go awry, you know, I'm always studying where exits are. I'm studying people's mannerisms and like who to look out for. Like, it's crazy. My brain goes all over the place. I love to have fun with that stuff, you know, like, oh, I wonder what this person does in their daily life, you know? Oh, he's got a weird leg shape, or is that guy wearing two different shoes? Like, my brain is just going through this and I'm playing out pictures. I'm making stories for people. Yeah. Dude, you don't want to be up here. It's a crazy, crazy world upstairs. Yeah.
I thought it was just empty. I thought it was just like Buddha nature, just like quiet. Peaceful,
I should. Emptiness. Yeah. I didn't follow my own advice there, did I? No. I better quiet those.
Yeah. You totally. Yeah. You know, like you came off looking like a bodhisattva, like a figure under the tree on top of a hill with glowing light.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, mostly I'm thinking about like that guy's got a weird leg shape. I was like, oh, this is ruining the whole thing. thinking about? I thought you were present.
Yeah. Oh, which bladder did I bring with me today? Yeah. Yeah. I know. My brain's all over.
Oh, shoot. I think I brought the wrong bladder.
Yeah.
I think I brought the wrong bladder on this trip.
Oh, can I drink pee? Is that safe? No, I don't.
I'd left one at Gmail on the, can we drink pee? I think you can.
I think you can.
From reading the book Misery, he had to drink his own pee in order to live. I remember that.
Okay.
See? Books.
All right. Yes. Books. Yeah. Learn something. Yeah. Anywho.
Yes. Very, very interesting stuff. The other thing I wanted to touch on from that podcast was we talked about the twin snakes, and they were the gummies, and I do not eat gummies. And so we talked about getting organic twin snake stew.
Oh, yeah.
For the Ride and Laugh food truck. And Nathan, who is our chef and an expert, he wrote in, he said, "You have me stumped. I generally try to avoid snakes, as do I. But he doesn't know the best way to prepare them." He said, according to Google, it's good fried and has a flavor profile between chicken and fish. Sounds like it's similar to alligator. And he closes by saying reptile meat is disgusting. So we might need some suggestions on our snake dish, or do we just get rid of it because Nathan's the man?
If Nathan's out, I'm out. Yeah. Who's going to go against Nathan? Come on, bud. Yeah. Don't piss off the chef. Yes. Come on, man.
Remember those shows, those cooking shows where they would have the chefs and then they would surprise them with whatever meat they had to work with?
Oh, you're going to surprise? Those? Yeah. You thinking you're going to surprise Nathan with a couple snakes?
I could just see Nathan uncovering he gets into the food truck and he's all excited to cook for the day.
Yeah.
And he uncovers the cloth and it's just like dead snakes. And he's like, no. We need to animate this. We've got to get our AI animator going. All right. Snakes are off the menu.
They're out.
Do we have the gummies? I don't want the gummies.
We don't need the gummies.
Sage knows a guy.
I know guy.
The guy is AJ, by the way.
Yeah.
He knows the guy. He can get you gummies. You need gummies? He can get you gummies. Get the gummies by 3:00.
That's right. Yes. AJ, me, and Thomas. Team Gummy.
That's right. Yeah, and I also know a spot on South Mountain where there's a dirty gummy that is half buried.
That's right.
That if you're really jonesing for it, I actually know that there's a dirty gummy, little treasure for someone. That's right. Yeah, dust that sucker off and instant energy.
Yeah.
This is a good time to remind everyone to rate and subscribe and give us a thumbs up and all that good stuff that helps the podcast. And we are growing, and tell your friends. We appreciate that. And if you are listening on Apple or anywhere, you can certainly leave a review. And we love reading the reviews. And we have a Apple review. It's a short one, but it's awesome.
Okay.
And the title is Love the Energy. It's from Young Man 2016.
Oh.
As a non-mountain biker, I'm learning and laughing while listening to this pod.
Yo.
A non-rider.
Actually, apropos, no, I don't know what the word is. You know what? Forget I just even said a word, but actually very appropriate for this pod because we were going all over the place. Is very much not just mountain biking. Yes. Apropos. Is that the right word?
I feel like
it could be.
Yes. I think it was. Yeah.
It's not so hazy.
Take another sip from the Camelback. Yeah. It's working.
It's working. Is working.
54 minutes in. It's working. You're going to have to do another pod later today. You're going to be supercharged. My gosh, the vocabulary is coming online.
The breath
all sorts of,
boy.
But that's awesome, man. A non-rider listening, super curious young man 2016. Thank you. Yes. So everyone, please leave a review especially if you're listening on Apple. Please go in, leave give us 5 stars, leave a short little review. Let you know that's awesome, and it really helps people find us and spread the word, the good word of Stoke, of unlimited nature, of we got this, of fun, of mountain bike gratitude. Ooh. Speaking of which, mountain bike gratitudes of the week.
My gratitude has to do with the snowstorm, and I've been watching a lot of TV. And although I do not drink the drinks, my gratitude goes out to Red Bull, man. There is no other company out there that is pushing out more mountain bike content on the regular that's interesting. And, Monster Energy, you could throw them in there too. Like these energy drinks. Without that, we're not getting a lot of these events. It's pretty awesome that they're pushing the sport so hard. And so thank you, Red Bull, for making my life interesting. Yes, while I'm stuck inside.
Yes. I definitely have some questions here, but first question, what have you been watching? What mountain bike content have you been watching lately from Red Bull or Monster that brings us to mind?
Oh, the Hardline. We were just watching all the Hardline. I mean, okay. It didn't happen, but yeah, the work up to it. And it's like, man, they do such a good job. It's high production. It's high production. You're getting all the perspectives from these people. And of course they have to push the brand, but you get past that, you know, you're watching the storylines. They do such a great job. It's not cheap. Yeah. We just talked about me being on these production events, you know, like I know how much it costs to do that. Take that and times it by 1,000. You're flying all these riders out. You're flying all the gear out. All the hours on the production team that you don't see, that you don't know about. When their riders are getting there at 10 o'clock on the mountain to go do the rides, what you don't know is that production team's been up since 4 a.m. And then when everybody goes home and they're sitting at the hotel room and, oh, look at this nice lemonade and blah, blah, blah. The production team is out there getting ready for the next day, you know? And thank you, Red Bull. Thank you, Red Bull, for doing that. That can't be cheap. That can't be easy. There's a lot of people that putting a lot of blood and sweat and tears. Am I a little biased here? I'm getting a little worked up.
Yeah, you definitely.
What's happening?
You're coming from the production background and having just done production. Like
I got to back
you're
off.
Definitely bringing that perspective. Yeah, it's interesting. I thought what was really interesting was that you mentioned lemonade after the whole Camelback bit. I thought of all the drinks that you went lemonade. Like I could tell.
Well, you know
what's on your mind.
I didn't want to.
From all the things to talk about, Dan, that's what you picked up, the drink. Yeah, no, it's an excellent point. The amount of work that goes into that, the amount of people, you know, like top down, and then to organize all that, to build the track, you know, and to get everyone there, and to have the insurance, and then to have it get rained out, you know. But it was still a success because they were there all week riding, and you know, like we didn't get the final race, but it was awesome. The second thing I was going to say is, like, as much as I appreciate that Red Bull does this, and I do, and Monster Energy and that sort of thing, like it kind of bums me out that like all this action sport and mountain bike stuff is associated with this energy drink. Like I know we're going to lose our sponsor. Like Red Bull is probably pretty close to reaching out to us. Like I just don't believe in drinking those. Like I just don't think that it's a good idea.
What a weird.
Too much slander?
No. What a weird take that you would have. Like, why have that take at all?
Who cares?
Yes. Yeah. Why are you watching this with that kind of you know, instead just appreciation, right? Like it's like, okay, I don't drink it, but I'm glad that this is out there and this is being produced. Like,
but I don't want anyone to drink it. Then
perhaps the better course of action is, instead of being upset that this is what is out there, what can we do to change that? Right? Like
yeah.
Again, I don't drink those drinks. I don't fault anybody that does drink the drink. If that, listen, I don't drink soda.
And I don't want to come off judgmental.
I don't drink soda, but I don't sit there and like when you have if I'm with somebody that has soda, I'm not like, well, you know, like no, what do I care? I drink out of a bladder full of pee. Like I'm not going to judge anyone.
You know, like, who needs soda?
Yeah,
when you got your own lemonade, caffeinated lemonade.
Exactly.
It's the hardest to get caffeine and lemonade together.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing in life is not having judgment. It is one of the hardest things. You know, we all sit there and think our poop doesn't smell. You know, and that's a terrible way to look at life. When you start thinking that that. You know, and I stopped doing that.
Yeah,
I stopped doing that.
Yeah, that I'm right. Yeah, my wife can tell you the poop smells. There's no doubt about that. And it's interesting because what happened was you said your gratitude goes to Red Bull.
Yeah,
and I immediately thought of the drink, and I was like, yeah, well, I love the productions, but like I don't want to give gratitude to the drink. It's a sugary drink, you know, that's I don't think is necessarily good for people, and that is such an old thought. It is such an old thought, like going back and just like, oh, like I choose not to drink the energy drinks, but I have moved on from that place of judgment. I really have. Like I don't look at someone drinking a soda and think you're doing it wrong. You know, like there's carnivore, there's vegan, there's omnivore. Like I have no problem with any of it. Whatever's serving you, that's fine. You know, we're all on this path. And so it really just kind of like brought out, and I find it happens to me all the time. The more I'm present and the more I'm talking to friends that can point this out, that's really just an old thought.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, gratitude to Red Bull, whoever wants to drink Red Bull, but here's this company that in order to promote their product, or maybe they're making money independently with these things now, but like is like supporting these awesome mountain bike events. And that's totally worthy of gratitude.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah. And you can use your
sponsorship
platform.
Back on?
Right. Yeah. And you can use your platform to either talk Red Bull into making a different alternative drink, or you could talk to our listeners about alternative drinks that you think are better. Like, but we don't need to connect, there doesn't need to be any kind of negativity while you're watching this. Yes.
I don't, when I'm watching it, I don't think like, oh, they're ruining it by drinking sugar at the end. Like it doesn't occur to me. Right. It was just the way that you said the gratitude goes to Red Bull, and like if you had said Red Bull Entertainment or Red Bull TV, like it might not have even occurred to me.
Oh,
but like I just thought of the drink, and I was like,
okay.
Like, oh, this is Sage's fault that I'm upset. Yeah, yes. Again, that's another thing though, is not saying that I'm upset because of anyone else. I'm choosing how to feel. My wife and I talk about this all the time. No one is making you feel anyway. My kids come home, my teacher did this, and now I feel this. No, your teacher did this, and you're choosing how to feel.
Oh,
you're choosing how to feel.
Oh, Danny, that's Buddhistic. Woo. That was good.
Yeah. I'm coming up on that hill. I'm coming up on that hill. We're going to be thinking about weird leg shapes together.
I know, dude. If we weren't in gratitudes right now, like I would love to dig into that. That is so true. Oh, this happened and they're making me feel. No, they're not. You are making yourself feel that way. This just happened. That's it. It ends right there. Oh, it's so deep. It's so deep. Yeah.
And how much freedom is that? You have total freedom to feel good whenever you want. No one is going to make you feel anything else.
Exactly. Oh boy. Okay. Well, Danny.
All right.
Your gratitude?
I got my mountain bike gratitude of the week, and I gotta go with Tristan at Ride Dialed. I've been talking about him a lot recently, and just been riding my Pivot since he tuned that bike up. And like we talked about this last week about getting the suspension tune wherever you are and whoever you can work with. But I really feel like I didn't know what a bike was supposed to feel like when it was tuned properly. This bike feels so different than anything I've ridden before that it's like kind of blowing my mind. And he doesn't just tune it up and then send you on your way. He's like, send me messages, let me know how it's riding, let me know what you want to improve. I'll tell you which styles to turn, and then helping me build my next bike. It just so happened that, and of course everything happens in perfect timing. It just so happened as I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on this e-mountain bike, I'm in his office and talking about it. And he was like, oh, let me know. I'll walk you through the build.
Yeah.
And then so he's looking at the build and he's making suggestions, and like, you should probably go mullet here and this size dropper post and this size stem, and and then we can do this with the suspension. And it's just like, wow, this is perfect. And that bike, after he's done with it, after I get it from the great Emigos Bike Shop and then the great Ride Dialed, that bike is going to be awesome. I am so stoked. So thank you, Ride Dialed. Thank you, Tristan. Yeah.
Yeah. Gratitude. What a combo. Yep. Two great shops. Emigos, Ride Dialed. Can't wait to meet both of those guys and gals. Yeah. Good stuff. Yes. Yep.
Would you like me to do the mountain bike tip of the week again?
I was going to do something on judgment, and I was like, we're getting too deep here. So let's go with a lighter mountain bike tip. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we had, this pod has really been chock full with like really a lot of good mindfulness stuff, a lot of good stuff on staying present. Well, if we want a more technical tip, and I am going to try not to screw this up because Tristan will kill me.
It like that. Stop it. Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Our mountain bike tip. It's a suspension tuning tip. And the last time I did one of these, it was completely wrong. Okay. Well, I thought this was really interesting. He was explaining it to me. He was saying when you were setting the PSI on your front fork, okay, so you decide what you want it at, and then you set it. And then he said the true PSI is the unweighted front wheel. So you're going to go to your say your target PSI is 90. You're going to go to your target PSI.
Yeah.
Okay. You can leave the shock pump attached to the shock. Go to 90, cycle the fork. So pump the fork a bunch of times.
Oh.
Unweight it and look at the number. It's going to be less. So you're going to lift the handlebars up and the wheel is going to be floating free. And then pump it up to your target PSI. And that's the actual PSI you want.
Whoa. Now that is,
I hope I got that right.
Dude, that's is
good stuff,
awesome.
Right?
That's really great. I didn't know that. I was just pumping PSI into the fork. Here's the number I'm supposed to hit. I love that, cycling the fork through some through some I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I love what you're saying. What a great idea.
Take a sip from the Camelback and say it again.
And then revisit. Yeah.
Caffeinated lemonade going.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that, especially with the rear. The rear shock for me is more finicky than the front shock. I worry less about the front shock, but I definitely feel the rear shock isn't dialed in perfectly for me. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try and keep the pump attached to it, bounce up and down on it, then check it again and see where I'm at. That's interesting.
I just want to be perfectly clear. I only saw him do it on the front. I did not see him do it on the rear.
Oh, okay.
This was a tip for your fork.
Just your front. Okay.
It probably works for the shock also. I'll reach out to him. I'll let everyone know next week. We got a second tip. It would make sense that it would do the same thing on the rear, that you would want the unweighted.
I would think so.
It would make
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yes. Just didn't want to say, I'm just trying to be very transparent here as far as what I actually know. Okay. Let us know, rideandlife1 at Gmail, YouTube comments. If you've heard that tip before, if you try it, let us know how it works. And if I got anything wrong, or if you have any other tips, any other suspension tips, anything else that we talked about, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. Anything that you want us to dig into more, we love to hear it in the comments. And thank you everyone for listening. If you're still listening, you are definitely one of us, and we appreciate you. Please rate and subscribe. Please set us to auto download. If you're watching on YouTube, watch to the end. Leave a comment. Everything helps the algorithm. Tell a friend. We're accepting super thanks if you're so inclined. We got so much going on, so much more fun happening. We appreciate everyone. Everyone have a great week and a great week of riding. Ride and laugh.
I'll see you, everyone.